What's up guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be showing you guys how we run Black Bear Pass, all the lines you need to take to make it super easy and effortless. And in my opinion, Black Bear Pass is really not that technical. It's more of a scare factor than anything. So this video is going to cover all the hard lines and which ones we think is the easiest lines to take, so that way no matter what kind of vehicle you have, fully built or bone stock, you can do Black Bear Pass. But before we get to that, this is Campfire Ranch. This is the Red Mountain Pass location here in Ouray, Colorado. This is going to be our base camp. So this time of year, it's getting a little bit cold. This whole weekend is going to be rainy and wet. Luckily today is nice and sunny, but we don't want to camp out in the wetness. So having this hut is going to be really nice to come back to. Having catered breakfast, lunch, and dinner is amazing. It's heated, it has Wi-Fi, we got running water, we got all that stuff here. So we're gonna be able to go out, adventure, wheel, and Black Bear Pass is literally down the street, 5 minutes from us. And there's a bunch of locations that we're gonna be able to go fly fishing at. And if you're a climber, there's a bunch of locations that you can climb at as well. So tons of activity around this spot right here. So no matter what activity you're doing, if you want to go out and adventure and have a place to come back to that's super close, look up Campfire Ranch, because it's a pretty amazing to have something like that. After a long day, you just want to rest. This is a perfect spot for it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, we're going to air down both the vehicles, and really depending on how comfortable you are on the trail and how difficult the trail is going to determine what PSI you should be airing down to. Normally, for me, I like to be anywhere between 12 PSI to about 18 PSI. If you think the more air you're going to let out of the tire, the less ground clearance you're going to get. But you're trading that off for more traction on rocks. So if you're doing a lot of more rock crawling, lower PSI would be better. So this trail doesn't have too many rocks to climb, so we're probably going to go around 15 PSI on both vehicles. So on this truck here, we have the Apex Designs quick tire deflators. These are amazing because you don't need any tools to deflate. You literally just take off the cap and then pull this. And then you shut it off. And it's really quick because the air isn't coming out of the stem. It's actually coming out of the lower portion of it where it has a bunch of holes down there. So we actually went down to 13 PSI instead, which is fine. Like I said, anywhere between 12 and 18 is where I like to be. Glenn is going to be around 15 on his vehicle, and then I guess I'll be around 13. So for Glenn here, he doesn't have the Apex Designs tire deflators on the wheels, so he's using the R4T tire deflators. These are great if you like to preset them to like 1 PSI, like 15 for example, and then just let it run all the way down. And when it stops hissing at you, you can pull them off and they'll be at 15 PSI every single time. And then if you'd like, you can have several versions of these, so that way if one could be like 18, the other one could be like 12 PSI if you wanted to have 2 different sets. So this is where Black Bear Pass starts the one-way. So from here on down, all the way down to Telluride, it's a one-way, nobody can come up. So if you want to turn around, this is your chance because there's no return. I think this might be the very first obstacle. The whole way up here was pretty straightforward, really nothing to it. Just a lot of small rocks, a couple small ruts, nothing really to be worried about. There's really only a couple sections on this trail that gets tippy, and then the steps down there is kind of more of a scare factor than anything technical. And then there's one switchback that we'll show you guys in just a little bit. But we're going to show every single obstacle that we encounter, and then that way we can show you guys how to cross them without putting yourself in danger. So this here is the very first obstacle where I can get a little tippy, so just go slow if you don't have a spotter. The goal is to just go left if you can, and you shouldn't really tip at all. Let's see how the 4Runner looks when it's going the same line. So on the very driver's side there, you can see it's kind of a nice little ramp. So right after that first obstacle, we have not really the next obstacle, but I guess it could be or seem a little bit more difficult. There's 3 lines or 3 ways. The far left has a pretty steep decline right there, and then we have a middle section right over here, which is a little bit steep, a little bit less steep than that one. And then the easiest way is all the way right. You can come and it'll reconnect right down there, but really it's not that hard. So we're just going to show you guys the hardest one, just going this way, and show you guys what it looks like. So from up here, it looks steeper and a little bit more intimidating than it actually is. So just go real slow. And if you have a spotter, great. If not, just go as slow as possible down it. It's almost like a ramp, so nothing crazy. There's no drop off or anything. So you can see there, pretty easy. And I don't think I'm gonna even hit the rear. So yeah, and this is a long wheelbase. And then the 4Runner shouldn't have any issues either. Yeah, so super easy. Yeah, from down here it just looks like a ramp pretty much, so nothing to it. So this next section here has a bunch of ruts, but you could just go straight down the middle, a little bit to the passenger side. The front passenger is going to come down a little bit and then it'll come back up. But just go real slow. So where I'm at, I should have been a little bit more to the driver's side and put my tire on this rock here. So let me do that real quick, so that way I can show you guys the easier way so you don't feel tippy like I am right now. So come this way a little bit so you're staying leveled. There you go. Now I didn't tip that time. And then just let it slide down. You never want to be nose down and standing on your brakes if it starts to tip. If you feel it starts tipping, just let it roll through, so that way it just continues to roll. That way you don't, I mean, it takes a lot to basically put the vehicle over going forward, but it's not a good feeling. So let me see if I can spot blend here with 4Runner. So I'm gonna have him come down that ledge. Yep, same exact thing. There you go. Never got tippy right there. So that's going to be the trick for this obstacle. Window, so you can see the rocks and how close you are to the ledge. So keep hugging it. All right, so this is probably the last tippy section here. So most people will go down the middle, but we actually found an easier route, which is far left. So we're going to go all the way left here. This will give you the least amount of tippiness. Easy peasy. So this line here will work for both trucks and SUVs like 4Runners. So
I could straighten out a little bit. There you go.
So we got to a pretty good flat spot where we're gonna have lunch. We're gonna make some sandwiches. We got some drinks, some Red Bull. We are literally right next to the water, so this is perfect. I just love running water, so anytime I can be right next to the water, I try to do so. But over here, we have something new that I just got. This is a BougeRV fridge. And the reason why I have this one is because it has wheels on it. So it makes it super easy. Once this is fully loaded, I can actually drag it around and get it to where I need to. In my Tundra, I have a fridge that just has handles on it, which works, and it stays in there permanently so I don't pull it out. But the BougeRV with the wheels, this is perfect for when I am doing lake days or pretty much any time I'm outdoors. So what we got in here, we got some pasta, we got some beer, we got some Red Bull, we got some blueberries. So we're gonna whip this up a little bit and we're gonna continue all the way and show you guys the rest of the trail. So this here is their 57 liter. It is a true dual zone, so it has a small compartment over there and a larger one. And it also has the basket, so if you wanted to pull all your groceries out and put it on the table, you can do so, which is really nice. You can set them both to fridge or freezer. So if you wanted both to be freezer and just carry a bunch of meat in here on your long expedition, you could do that. But closes really nice, the seals are really nice. And this is actually my favorite part, on top of the wheels, on the side here, there is actually an integrated battery. So right down here is this battery right here. This powers this device, so I don't need a separate portable battery bank, so that way I don't, have to carry a fridge and then have to worry about bringing a portable battery as well. So this here literally slides in here, clips in, powers the fridge, and it's all in one unit, so I'm not having to worry about two things. So that's probably my favorite feature aside from the fridge. But let's make some lunch and continue on the trail. So this next section here is called the steps, and it's called that because it's like steps, it's like stairs. So the only real worry you gotta worry about is being far away enough from the edge, so that way you're not going to hit the wall on your passenger side, but also not going to fall off the cliff as well. But if you have a passenger with you, they can watch the passenger side as you watch the ledge. And coming down, you just go real slow and you'll be able to come down here, and then you'll be greeted by this really nice waterfall here that drains down to here and then all the way over here, and then you have this beautiful overlook of the city of Telluride right there. So we're almost there, but I think that's everything as far as the hard parts here. So the rest of it is pretty much just kind of like this, just rocky, but nothing technical, nothing scary you really have to worry about. So once you're done with Black Bear Pass, you get down to the town of Telluride. We filled up down there, and then we hopped on Ophir Pass to get back to our hut. So we're staying at the Campfire Ranch. So the best way and fastest way to get there, and the fun way to get there, is through Ophir Pass. This is the highest point, I believe. This is 11,789 feet in elevation. And one of the things I want to talk about is, if you're going to take the highway, it takes an hour and a half to go all the way around if there's no traffic, but this is a more scenic, better way in my opinion. This trail is only rated an hour in duration, but it only took us 20 minutes to get to here, and we're more than halfway through. So if you're comfortable, you can just fly down this trail. But the Tacoma doesn't have a spare tire, and before I came on this trip, I wanted to get something just in case. So the 4Runner obviously has a spare in the back here, but the Tacoma 37-inch tire, you can't fit that underneath. I didn't want to put it in the bed. So this is GlueTread. This is something new. So after the trail we went on with True Automotive at I forget what trail it is, but Tucker, one of our guys, got a flat, and basically a rock sliced his sidewall. So luckily one of our other guys had a patch kit from GlueTread, so of course I had to get one for our rig, so that way, just in case the Tacoma does get a flat, I will have something ready to go. This kit is pretty cool. This is, I think, their biggest kit, which comes with everything. It has glue, it has valve stems, it has patches. It also has a repair kit if you do get a nail or something in the bottom where all the tread is, so you can fix a flat with a sidewall puncture or a nail puncture, pretty much anything, a valve stem breakage or anything like that. Everything is in here. So wanted just to show you guys that real quick. If you guys are somebody who is running a larger tire that you don't or can't fit the spare underneath and you want something that is very reliable, GlueTread, check it out. I'll put it down in the description for you guys to check out. So let's continue. So we are completely done with Black Bear Pass, and we are back at the hut. This here is actually Campfire Ranch, the Red Mountain Pass location. So if you guys haven't heard of it before, it's basically like your home base. And this is the perfect location because Black Bear Pass is 5 minutes that way from this location north, and there's actually a shortcut, so you don't have to go out to the highway and get on where the trailhead is. We can just hop on the shortcut here, and it'll spit us right at Black Bear where it actually starts. There's actually a split right there, but really cool location because right now it's pretty chilly. Yesterday it was wet all day long, so trying to camp out here in Ouray would be just no fun. So having somewhere we can come back to, have a meal, have board games, have drinks, and everything like that is very nice. So it's a little bit different than what we normally do, which is camp out. But yesterday would have been miserable because we all would have been just in our tents and just not talking to anybody, just kind of hiding from the rain. So this is great. Look at this view. So this here is the backyard of Campfire Ranch, and we just have all these mountains and trees around. This is just beautiful, and they run this all year round, in the winter and in the summer obviously. So super cool. I'll put a link down to everything we talked about in this video, from the BougeRV fridge here to the GlueTread to Campfire Ranch, everything. If you guys have any questions, reach us down below or let us know what you guys have questions about. But that's gonna be it for this video. If you guys are new here, subscribe to the channel, let us know what you guys want to see. We'll see you guys next time.